Getting married in Islam is something that is encouraged, and it's actually linked to the worship of God. However, there are some surprising and interesting facts to know about even before getting to the point of marriage. Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and in this episode, I'll be looking at 10 surprising and interesting facts about dating in Islam. Stick around from 10 as we count down to number 1. Okay, so number 10, it's done for the sake of Allah. Islam teaches people to be truthful and real. The concept of love in Islam is unique in the sense that when a Muslim loves something or somebody, it must be for the sake of Allah or God. And Muslims cite Prophet Muhammad's following words: 3 qualities, if found in a person, will help him have perfect faith: having Allah and His Messenger as the most beloved ones, loving the person only for the sake of Allah, and hating getting back to disbelief the way one hates to be thrown into fire. There's also some rules for falling in love. According to Islam, when someone has fallen in love with someone, he or she should consider that person as his or her spouse-to-be. This is a very important point. And this is done so that the potential spouse can determine if he or she can live with them for the rest of his or her life, among other considerations, of course. And if the answers are positive, then they should start to get to know each other and move from there. In most Islamic cultures, the starting point happens through families. The man proposes to the woman, and if all parties are okay at that point, then the bride-to-be and the groom-to-be can start getting to know each other on a deeper level. Number 8, let's look at seeing your partner-to-be. Prophet Muhammad recommended that 2 people who are in love see each other before the marriage. Now, this also is very important because it is unreasonable for 2 people to be thrown into marriage and to be expected to have a successful marriage with love and affection when they know little to nothing or just nothing at all about one another. Now, this ruling does not contradict the verse in the Quran that says believing men and women should lower their gaze, and that's found in Surah 24, verses 30. Also, another thing to note is that since dating in non-Muslim cultures may lead to acts such as touching and hugging and kissing, etc., Islam views this type of dating as forbidden or haram. But this does not mean that the groom-to-be or the bride-to-be are not allowed to meet up and talk to get to know each other. There are some parameters around this. Typically, they meet up at the girl's house with her parents and they talk over a meal, or they may meet up in another social setting. And according to Islam, it is not forbidden or haram for a man and a woman to be together in a place where other people can actually see them and other people can come and go as they please. Because with this, there is no chance of them committing sin. Number 6 brings us to consent in marriage. One of the conditions of a valid marriage is the consent of the 2 people getting married. Now, the choice of a partner by a Muslim girl is subject to the approval of her father or her guardian, and this is all done to protect her welfare and interests. And when it comes to this, Prophet Muhammad had these words to say: "The widow and the divorced woman shall not be married until she has consented to that, and the virgin shall not be married until her consent is sought." There was even one case reported of the Prophet Muhammad nullifying a marriage of a girl who was complaining about her father who married her against her wishes. Alrighty, we come to halfway in this episode. We have 5 more facts about dating relating to Islam coming up. But before we get into that, here is a video, 10 worst haram things in Islam. It goes into a lot more things that are forbidden in the religion of Islam, and it's pretty interesting, pretty eye-opening. I do recommend that you check it out. I'll link to it below in the video description section where you can enjoy it after this episode. All right, continuing now with number 5, choosing a partner. Muslims are encouraged to look for these particular qualities in a partner. Muslimin, which is those who do good to others. Then there is tawabin, which are those who turn to rightfulness and they seek God for guidance. The mutaharin are those who keep their bodies free from any filth and their minds away from dirty thoughts, as well as they keep their conduct clean. Mutakin refers to those who guard themselves against evil. Sabirin are those who have the capacity to endure hard times, because not everything's going to be easy. Also, mutawakkilin, those who put their trust in Allah and His laws. Another quality is muqsitin, which refer to those who act equitably and justly. And finally, those who fight on God's path against tyranny, injustice, wrongdoings, aggression, and sin. There's also facts about early marriage. So to avoid the temptation of committing fornication, or zina in Islam, Islam encourages marriage at a young age. Therefore, it is completely normal to start a relationship at the age of puberty. But you see, this is not compulsory though. So reaching the age of puberty should not be considered as the only qualification for deciding when to start a relationship. There are several other factors as well, like the overall maturity of that person, as well as their ability to make good judgment calls. Now, the Prophet Muhammad was reported to have said the following words, and I quote, "O youths, whosoever among you can marry, he should do so, because marriage protects your eyes from indulging in sin by looking lustfully at others in privacy." Also, there is to be no talks about intimate relations. In Islam, single people can't meet each other for a date without a chaperone, as I mentioned earlier in this episode. However, a lot of Muslims, they kind of stop following this tradition. They meet other single Muslims and they date and they develop relationships without anyone supervising them. Either way, having sex before marriage is a topic that Muslim men and women should avoid to reduce the temptations of it actually happening. A lot of people have questions about this one when it comes to dating during Ramadan. So most people refrain from talking to their boyfriends or girlfriends during the fasting period of the month of Ramadan because it may cause them to break their fast through intimate acts. So this aspect of relationships and individual needs is, of course, a big debate within Islamic circles, but generally Muslims believe that Ramadan is the best time to ask God for forgiveness and to seek closeness to Him. So it is especially forbidden to have girlfriends and boyfriends in a casual sense during the month of Ramadan. And finally, let's look at the conditions of a valid marriage. So it is recommended for a man to marry a woman who he really loves, because the Prophet Muhammad had said these following words: "There is nothing better for two who love each other than marriage." And that's taken from the hadith Sahih al-Jami. However, it's said that this love should not be an overwhelming kind of love and cause a person to forget other characteristics which he should look for in the person that he wants to marry, because Prophet Muhammad also said these following words: "A woman may be married for four things: her wealth, her lineage, her beauty, and her commitment to religion. Choose the one who is religious. May your hands be rubbed with dust." And that means may you prosper. That's taken from the Hadith al-Bukhari and Muslim. Muslims generally stress that the person that is religious, that is the number one thing above beauty, above wealth. That is the thing that Muslims should focus on when it comes to choosing a partner above all other things. All right, guys, so that ends this episode. This was a look at 10 surprising facts about dating in Islam. Hopefully you found this video informative, entertaining, and maybe it taught you something new. All right, guys, as always, I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Leave a like before you get on out of here. And if this is your first time here to FTD Facts, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when new videos are posted, because we explore the various different countries, cultures, religions, and people of our world. So if those topics are of interest to you, join the FTD Facts family, and I look forward to seeing you guys in another episode.